Cheers. So welcome to another edition of Darren Wakes Up to Some Bullshit. So here's an image I found on Twitter. It's a list of tweets that came out yesterday. Barack Obama. The attacks on tourists and Easter worshippers in Sri Lanka are an attack on humanity. On a day devoted to love, redemption, and renewal, we pray for the victims and stand with the people of Sri Lanka. Julian Castro. On a day of redemption and hope, the evil attacks on Easter worshippers and tourists in Sri Lanka is deeply saddening. Hillary Clinton. On this holy weekend for many faiths, we must stand united against hatred and violence. I'm praying for everyone affected in today's horrific attacks on Easter worshippers in Sri Lanka. Jared Polis. Heartbreaking to learn about these attacks on tourists and Easter worshippers in Sri Lanka. Colorado stands with the people of Sri Lanka during this very tragic day. Representative Dan Kildee. Such a horrific attack on Easter worshippers and tourists in Sri Lanka. My thoughts are with the victims of today's attack. We must stand united against hate and violence. Ami Bera. I am deeply saddened over the horrific acts of violence against Easter worshippers and tourists in Sri Lanka. I send my deepest condolences to the victims and their families. We stand united with the people of Sri Lanka. Greg Stanton. These horrific attacks on Easter worshippers in Sri Lanka are heartbreaking. It fills me with sadness that such an act of such hatred and violence took the lives of so many people on the holiest of days. We have work to do so that every person, wherever they live, may worship in peace. And Mayor Brian Bowman, deeply saddened to learn of the attacks on Easter worshippers and tourists in Sri Lanka. On this day of renewal, Winnipeggers' thoughts and prayers are with all those affected in Sri Lanka. What the fuck is an Easter worshipper? Now, in the interests of full transparency, I just want to let you guys know that the God that is shared by Judaism, Islam, and Christianity, your magic Jew space wizard in the sky, does not exist. Okay, this is all bullshit. That being said, the worshippers of this invisible magic Jew space wizard do exist. And what happened in Sri Lanka was that Islamic terrorists directly targeted conventions of Christians in hotels and killed several hundred people. The word that none of these Democrats and leftists will say is Christian. The word they will not say, is Christian. And the other word they will not say is Muslims. Barack Obama in particular specifically said, I'm deeply saddened by the attack on Muslims in New Zealand last month. So, just make sure you know, if you're a Christian, the Democrats hate you. But Darren, so many Democrats are Christians. Did I stutter? Rewind the tape back and check real quick and make sure I didn't stutter. Democrats hate Christians. And Democrats who are Christians are traitors to their own kind. Just like there's another fact. Democrats hate white people. But Darren, so many Democrats are white people. Did I stutter? Democrats only tolerate white people who hate themselves and other white people. You have to be a traitor to your own kind to support Democrats. You want to know an even scarier one? Democrats hate black people. The only black people that Democrats support, well actually there's two kinds this time, is traitors to their own kind and the ones that are too ignorant to know they're being betrayed. Kind of the same goes for the white people and Christians, to be honest with you, but specifically, they count on the ignorance of black people. and to a lesser extent, they count on the ignorance of Christians and white people. So whether or not any of this magical fairy tale bullshit is real or not, there is a fact that the ones that believe in the Allah interpretation of the Magic Jew Space Wizard are out there killing people in the tens of thousands every few months, worldwide. But what will the Democrats tell you? They will lie about what the word terrorism means and fuck with the statistics to make sure that you know that depending on which retarded leftist who's pulling this statistic out of their ass, it's either 70%, 75%, 80%, even all the way up to 95% of all terrorist attacks in America are committed by white right-wing terrorists. Not even close to true, especially since I know those statistics happen to include hundreds of hoaxes committed by left-wing people, like Jussie Smollett, like certain people who have burned down church and blamed it on Trump supporters, and we find out that a black person burned down this black church to try to blame it on Trump, or that one woman in, I think it was Oregon, near Portland, I believe it was, burned down her own home, killing 4 of her own pets inside, blamed it on Trump supporters, became the person of the year in her city and a huge, lesbian activist, and it took them a few months to realize, oh, she burned her own house down. You have to hate yourself to support the people, the party of hate. Not the Republican Party. Not the Libertarian Party. Not even, well, I guess you could probably say the Green Party qualifies, but ultimately the Democrat Party is the party of hate. They hate you. You are nothing but a pawn, a tool, a weapon. And they will use you, they will abuse you, and when you are no longer useful, they will throw you away. Barack Obama is a Christian. Yeah, but he can't say the word now, can he? Why do so many people think Barack Obama is the Antichrist? Well, he's a really, really shitty president who's a war criminal who just on his drone program alone, which killed I think it's 72% or so of all of the casualties of Obama's drone program in Iraq, Afghanistan, Yemen, Somalia, so forth, killed civilians. Over 3,000 of them were children. So, not a great guy. And even though he's supposedly a Christian, we all seem to have forgotten that the church he used to go to in Chicago, run by a Mr. Reverend White, was a church that sounded a little bit more like the pastor was Louis Farrakhan and said a lot of bad things about Jews and white people. But we made sure the media shut up about that guy real fast during the elections back then in 2008. So you just need to realize that these people don't tell the truth. Progressives always lie. 100% of the time, without exception. You show me anything a progressive says, I can tell you how it's a direct lie, a lie of obfuscation, a desire to change the subject of a conversation away from an uncomfortable truth, a lie of omission, commission, all of the above. Whatever it is dishonesty. All of the time. There's never a point in which they're not lying. For all we know, Barack Obama is legitimately deeply saddened about what happened in Sri Lanka. It does break his heart. He does wish for that to never happen. Maybe that's all true. But will he tell the truth about what happened? No! Keep that in mind.